If you remember what I said in like the first or second tutorial, you would know that a string is basically just a list of characters. And now that you know what an array is, you might ask, isn't the definition for an array and a string basically the same? Aren't they both just lists of values of the same data type? Well, if you've asked that question, you're a genius, and you're absolutely right. In fact, a string really just is an array, and there's only one real difference. But first, let me show you how to create a variable for a string. And it is just an array of characters. So you learned in the last tutorial how to create an array for doubles. So an array for characters is just type out the data type for characters, char, and the name. And if you haven't guessed, I'm a really boring person, so just type in the word string. That'll be the name of our variable. And you'll remember in the last tutorial that there's a shortcut. You don't always have to specify the number of elements in the array. You can let the compiler figure it out for you. And this is what we usually do when we're creating strings. So we're going to leave these brackets empty, and we're going to assign this a value. Now, if you were watching the last tutorial, you might think that we're going to do something like this in braces. And we're going to have each character in the string like this for hello world, etc., etc. But this is ridiculously tedious, and no one should ever have to type that many quotation marks and commas. So they made another shorthand for strings. All we have to do is put the list of characters that we want inside of quotation marks like this. So that's our string hello world. And the compiler will count that string 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And it will automatically assign an array that contains 13 characters. And we can print this string out just using the %s that we learned about for strings and the name of this variable. And we can print this out, and if I did everything correctly, it should print out the string. And it does. And because this is really just an array of characters, you can access the individual elements and change them just as you would with a normal array. So let's print out the 10th character in this array. And now we're going to have to change this to %c because the 10th element in this array is a character. It's not a string. It's just a single character because this is an array of characters. So %c, and we access the 10th element in the array just by using 10. Now, technically this is the 11th element in the array because as you'll remember, we start counting the array at position 0. So if we really wanted the 10th element in the array, we would ask for 9. So let's see what this prints out. It prints out the letter R. And if we count, we start at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So that would be the 10th character in the array. We can also change the elements that are in this array. So let's change the last one in the array, the exclamation point, to a question mark. And we will do that down here, and then we're just going to print out this string as we did the first time. Now there's 13 characters in this string, so we need to change the 12th. It's the 13th, but the 12th index. And we are going to assign this to a question mark. And remember that because this is just a single character, we only use single quotes and not double quotes. So let's print this out and see what we get. Hello world? That's not so good. Alright, well in this tutorial you learned that strings are basically just arrays of characters. You learned how to create them, to print out specific characters within the arrays, and how to change the individual characters within the string. That's the basics of strings. In the next tutorial, we're going to go over some more complicated aspects of strings. I hope you've learned something in this tutorial, and I'll see you again next time.